Hello, Creekside Show Choir. Today we're going to get started with our tutorial on getting our show choir makeup done. I have some product recommendations for you that you can easily pick up at Walgreens, but realistically, whatever you guys already have or whatever you're capable of getting is also fine with me. So for this, you are going to need a foundation, a blush, a contour color, which is going to be just slightly darker than your skin tone. You're going to need a sort of neutral champagne-y colored eyeshadow, and you're going to need your eyeliner and mascara. So let's get into some of these products. So the foundation that I picked up that's pretty inexpensive at Walgreens is the Fit Me. They have lots of different coverage options. The important thing is that you're gonna wanna match it to your neck. Not to your face, not to your arm, but you're gonna make sure you wanna match it to your neck. That's going to be the closest match, especially for when we're in our show choir dresses, which are, they do show past the collar. For highlight, I have an e.l.f. concealer. This is optional, but it's nice for those under eye areas if we're gonna bring in some brightness. Again, optional. They sell this at Walgreens, they sell it at Target, whatever you want. You want it to be just a couple shades lighter than your skin tone. Next, I pointed out some contour colors that are available. I already have one, so I will be using mine. The important thing with your contour is that you wanna get one that is in a similar undertone to you. So for example, I'm a very neutral undertone. I tend to show up more pink. So I got a sort of taupe-based neutral contour that's a little bit darker than me. Whatever you want to find that works, you just want it to be just a hair darker, not crazy dark. You're not going to get the darkest color available, just something that's a little bit darker than your skin tone. For blush, we are going to go pretty intense. Remember, this is a stage makeup or a dance makeup. We're not going for something super subtle. We're going something that's gonna look really bright and really clear from on stage to the audience. So I have this sort of berry mauve-y color. I believe it is, I forget what it is, blush. I don't remember what shade exactly it is, but they have quite a few colors. You don't want it to be super bright pink. You don't want it to be super. For eyeshadow, I got this very shimmery champagne color. This is important. We're gonna use this in our contour to make our eyeshadow. We want something that's gonna stand out on stage, bring attention to the eye. Additionally, I have this mascara. This is a nice one. I've used it plenty of times before. It's a great go-to. It is going to provide a nice black pigmentation. Remember to get a black pigmented mascara, not a brown. You are welcome to use whatever eyeliner you are comfortable with using, but keep in mind we are going to be doing a winged eyeliner. If you do not have experience with wings, I recommend a felt tip eyeliner pen like this one. It's going to make it very easy to simply place it and drag along versus with, for example, if you have a crayon, it can be a little bit more challenging to get that clean cat eye tip. If you're using a gel and you have a brush, that's fine too. That's what I typically use. But if you're new to eyeliner or if you're just looking for the easiest way to get a cat eye, I recommend a felt tip pen. Are going to need for your foundation application, I use a beauty blender. You can use a brush, you can use whatever you prefer. Even those disposable pads will work. However, I prefer a beauty blender. Just remember, you need to make sure that yours is wet. When you use it, it needs to be wetted. So let's begin our tutorial. So starting with my foundation, I prefer to place a little bit of it on the top of my hand. This is gonna warm up the product and make it lay a little bit nicer on the skin. So I dab a little bit on there. That is more than enough. That is more than enough. Remember, we're not trying to cake our faces on. We just need to get enough that we have a nice even base layer for the rest of our makeup to lay on. So I go through, I'm gonna dab, dab, dab all over my face. You can tell that my beauty blender is damp, but it's not dripping. We don't want drippy beauty blenders, just a nice dampness. So I'm going in on a completely bare face. You can see how this is gonna blend with my neck, blend all the way down, all of that good stuff. It matches my skin tone. Some important places you want to touch on as you go through is you want to make sure you really get that beauty blender into the creases of your nose. If you're not careful, sometimes these places can end up not getting any product in them. And so from there, my foundation is nice and even. You can see I have a nice base layer. There's no patchiness, there's no discoloration. It's just a nice even skin tone. So this part is optional. I prefer to do this because I like to make sure that my face has a little bit of dimension. I'm going to go in with my concealer. So this isn't going to go everywhere, but it's nice if you have perhaps some spottiness or you have somewhere in particular that you want coverage, you can go in with this. I'm using a significantly lighter color because I'm going to use this to highlight my face. So I like to go in the corners of the eyes. I'm gonna go down the center of the nose. I'm gonna do a little bit on my forehead, a little bit on my upper lip, and a little bit on my chin. These are the places that naturally have light falling on them, and that's what you want to define with your highlight. So then I go in with the thin side of my Beauty Blender. I'm gonna make sure I blend that down, not up the side of my nose, but down and then out. And up so that we highlight the top of our cheekbone. And we'll talk about how to find that cheekbone in a minute because that's gonna be important for our blush and for our contour. We blend around the forehead, concentrating in that center area and then blending it out in each direction so that it fades nicely. You can see there's not a dramatic line. Same thing over here. We're gonna blend down and over. And then to make sure that my eyeshadow sticks, I'm going to pull that concealer up onto my eyelid. Next, we're gonna blend here, blend down each side. Remember to go in consistent directions. We don't wanna swipe all over our face. That'll give you some streakiness. So make sure you go in the same direction. We're just gonna pat that in. Same thing right down here, pat it in. And if I have a little bit of extra, I'll draw it up my jawline. And so now we're blended. You can see that already it looks a little bit paler. Next, I am going to go in with a brush. I like to use a thin one like this. So let's talk about how to find your cheekbone. When you're looking at your cheekbones, you have a piece of bone in here that's the defining area in your cheekbone. So if you're tapping across, you're gonna find it somewhere in here. You're going to want to find directly underneath where your cheekbone sits, that hollow. That is the place that you want to contour when we're contouring our face, right? Because we're trying to make our features more defined back on stage. So I go in with my contour powder and I'm going to go directly under there. Just a straight line. And we're not gonna go all the way down. We just want that cheekbone defined, right? And we're gonna do that on both sides. So go in with your contour powder, define that cheekbone line, easy peasy. Next, from there, we're gonna go from the hollow next to our ear down along our jaw. Again, this is just sort of setting up the shadows of the face, creating borders on the face, defining the features that we already have. We're not changing anything. We're just making it really visible from a bright stage environment where our features are. Just gonna help us be seen, help our vowel shapes be seen, all of that good stuff. Next, at the temple. A little bit of makeup at the temple. Bring it all the way up your hairline. Remember, our hair is gonna be back in a bun, so this is providing us just a little bit more depth on our face. Same thing on this side, we're gonna find our temple. We're gonna drag it up and around. Temple, up and around. And now from here, we can start to blend it. Making nice circular motions. All of that good stuff. From here, we're going to move on to our blush. I'm going to go in with the Fit Me that I bought today. Again, it is a darker blush. Again, this is for stage makeup. This is not something we're wearing out and around all of the time. This is specifically for a dramatic stage look. So please do not come to me wanting advice on day-to-day makeup. Again, this is just to be overly dramatic and overly accentuated on the stage. So where we defined earlier with our contour, we're gonna go just above that with our blush, right? And we can see it's already highly visible. We start with just a little bit and we're gonna blend it out and up to our temples. We're defining those apples of our cheeks. You can see how dramatic this color is, and that's great for the stage, right? That's the point. We're gonna blend and blend and blend and blend and blend. You don't need much of this color. Right? Here we are, same thing. I'm literally dabbing it once finding that highest point of my cheek and then blend, 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 blend. Just the apples of our cheek. We're not gonna come past the center of our eye. We're just gonna define that cheekbone again. So now you can see we've got nice color in our face, right? Right here and right here. And there's our blush. From there, we're gonna start with our eye makeup. Our eye makeup is going to be that shimmery champagne-y color and the contour that we used earlier. Super easy 2-color eyeshadow. And I am not going to use a brush for this light color. I prefer to use the pad of my ring finger because I feel like it deposits more color. So we're gonna go in, we're gonna swipe. You can see that that's nice and shimmery. And so we're gonna swipe with our finger and then we're just gonna pack it in on the lid of our eye. You can see it's providing a little bit of shimmer. It's nice and highlighting on the eye, and it's giving me a nice, even base for what comes next. We're gonna drag that all the way up, drag the excess up to our brow bone. We don't need to apply extra for our brow bone, but we're gonna drag any extra up. On the eye there, being nice and gentle as we pack it on, and again, drag it up to the brow bone. For the contour color that we're bringing back in, that same contour that we used on our cheeks, I'm going to use a smaller brush. So for this, we're gonna be defining just the crease of our eye. Now this is gonna look different for everybody, so make sure that you're assessing your own eyelid. When I look straight into the camera, I can see that my defining crease is here. I also have a little bit of a hooded eye, so you can tell if I open my eyes all the way, there's a crease there where part of my eyelid goes away. That means that I'm gonna have to define over where my natural crease is, right? So flat, you can see my crease is here. That's sort of hollow under where the brow bone stops. You can see that that's where we're defining. But if I open my eyes, that's partially covered by the crease. So I'm gonna go slightly above my crease, making sure that I stay in that under brow bone area. Get my color loaded onto my brush. And then I'm just gonna swoop it like that. Again, we're just defining that area. It's just like we contoured our face. We're just giving depth and definition to the shape of our natural eye. And we're gonna swipe it over. Nice and blended. Do we see how there's already more depth than on this side? That's what we're looking for, just definition. Nothing crazy, just definition. And that, same thing on the other side. Find my brow bone, find where my crease is, and that's where I want to create that shadow. So all we're doing is creating shadow on our face. Depending, if you have a thinner brush, you can do that. I like to pinch it so that it's nice and thin, and we're gonna go just under this eye with that so that we pull that brown around. Same thing on this side, pinch it. Define that under. One other optional step, if you have really light eyebrows, you can brush them with a little spoolie and then apply that same contour color to define your eyebrows. Starting at the end, you want this side to be more dark than this side. Come through. Just tracing over the brow shape you already have. You're not adding anything, you're not changing anything. Again, we're just defining what we already have. This is great for expression because we need the people in the audience to see our eyebrows as we do expression, all of those things. So one thing that's neat about this specific eyeliner is it does have a stencil for you to use if you are not super comfortable creating a cat eye. You are more than welcome to do that. You can use the outside just to create those lines that you want, whatever you need. I'm going to show you how to do that without this in case you buy a different felt tip marker or in case you're using a different product. Using my felt tip, I hold the corner of my eye to keep everything stable. And then I'm gonna close it because I wanna see the angle. We're gonna match the corner of our eyelid to the corner of our eyebrow, and I'm just going to place the marker. Just place it. And already you can see the beginnings of what the shape we want is. From there, the tip of that, I'm going to drag down. See? Same thing, we're gonna connect, drag across to the middle of our eye. So now we have this nice defined triangle. And that's the hardest part of the cat eye. I'm gonna clean this up just a little bit. And that's the shape we're looking for. So from the interior to the exterior, we're not even gonna define that all that much. We're just going to trace directly along the lash line and blend it in so it's not a like super big contrast. Very little product goes onto the interior corner. Now you can see we have a nice defined cat eye. From there, if you know how to use a lash curler, you can. I prefer not to use them. I just don't like the way that they feel. I'm gonna go in, open my eyes, look up, and we're just gonna pull those lashes up. This mascara is nice and pigmented, and it's gonna give you a lot of color on those lashes just to make them match the eyeliner. Same thing on the other side. Nice and simple. And then with whatever is left over, we go back and forth on those bottom lashes, and you'll get that bottom lash line defined. The important thing about the lipstick is that you want it to be a nice bright red shade. We're not looking for a berry, we're not looking for a pink, we're not looking for a deep red. We want a nice bright red. This is the one that I recommended. This is called Innovator. Anything that is extended stay, super stay, lipstick, lip ink, all of those kinds of words are what you're looking for. You're looking for something that is gonna go on as a liquid, dry, and stick for a long time. The way I always do my lipstick is first I make sure that there's not too much on. And we're gonna go from the corners in, always from the corners in. So on the bottom lip, corner, down around, following the natural curve of your lip. And then fill in. Start from the other side. Down, following the outside curve of your lip, fill in the inside. We see that makes a nice clean line without having to use lip liner. On the top, we're gonna define our Cupid's bow first, so we have somewhere to aim for, right? Define it nice and strong. And now we're gonna go from the outside corner, following our lip, and pull up. Same thing on the other side. Outside corner, following the lip, and pull up. So from there, we're gonna clean up anything that you think you might need to, add wherever you think you might need to, but that is all she wrote. That is our lipstick. That is our look. Don't forget to pick up some sort of cleanser or makeup remover. I like the Garnier Micellar Mineral Water or the Neutrogena Makeup Remover Wipes. Those are gonna work great for getting your stage makeup off at the end of the night. Peace out.